You notice it immediately. The owl isn't flying away, it isn't hunting, it isn't making a sound. It's simply staring at you, unblinking, motionless, almost as if it's studying you. And if you've ever locked eyes with an owl, you probably remember exactly how it felt. Because being watched by an owl feels different, strangely different, almost unsettling. Why? Why do owls stare at humans for so long? Are they curious? Are they afraid? Do they recognize us? Or are they seeing something we cannot? Scientists have spent decades studying owl behavior, and the answers are far more fascinating than most people realize. Because an owl's stare isn't random. In fact, it may reveal exactly what the owl is thinking. And understanding that stare may completely change the way you see these mysterious birds forever. To understand why owls stare, we first need to understand something extraordinary. Owls do not see the world the way humans do. Unlike our eyes, an owl's eyes cannot move inside their sockets at all. Human eyes constantly shift, looking left, looking right, scanning the world. Owls can't do that. Their eyes are essentially fixed in place, which means when an owl wants to observe something, it must stare directly at it. This alone explains part of their intense gaze. But it also creates another question. If owls cannot move their eyes, how do they observe everything around them? The answer is remarkable. Because their eyes are fixed, owls evolved one of the most extraordinary abilities in the animal kingdom. They can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees. Not all the way around, as many people believe, but far enough to scan almost their entire environment. And they do this constantly, because for an owl, missing movement could mean missing dinner, or missing danger. Which brings us to an important point. When an owl stares at you, it may simply be gathering information, lots of information, much more than you realize. Owls survive by noticing tiny details. A mouse moving beneath leaves, a branch bending in the darkness, a faint sound almost impossible for humans to hear. Their brains are constantly analyzing, calculating, evaluating, and when a human appears, we become part of that analysis. The owl wants answers. Are you dangerous? Are you prey? Are you predictable? Should you be ignored? The easiest way to answer those questions is simple. Watch, and watch carefully. But curiosity may also play a role. Many birds display curiosity, especially highly intelligent species. And while owls are not as socially curious as crows or parrots, researchers believe they can still show investigative behavior, particularly when encountering something unfamiliar. A human walking through the forest, standing still, looking back, may become extremely interesting to an owl, especially if the owl has rarely encountered people before. In other words, sometimes the owl may simply be trying to understand you, the same way you are trying to understand it. But there is another possibility, and it involves fear. To us, an owl appears calm, silent, almost fearless, but owls face many dangers. Larger predators, humans, environmental disturbances. When an owl stares, it may be assessing risk. The owl is asking, how close are you? What are you doing? Will you leave? Do I need to escape? This explains why many owls maintain eye contact before suddenly flying away. The stare is often a decision-making process, a silent calculation. Stay or leave. But perhaps the reason these encounters affect humans so deeply has less to do with owls, and more to do with us. Humans are naturally drawn to eyes. especially eyes that appear intelligent, focused, aware. An owl's forward-facing eyes resemble our own, unlike most birds, which creates a powerful illusion. It feels as though the owl is truly looking into us, not simply at us. And perhaps that is why so many cultures throughout history viewed owls as symbols of wisdom, mystery, knowledge, even spirituality. Because when an owl stares at you, it rarely feels ordinary. It feels personal, even if science tells us otherwise. And maybe that feeling is part of what makes owls so unforgettable. The next time an owl stares at you, pause for a moment. Look back, because behind those enormous eyes is an animal performing millions of years of evolutionary programming. Observing, analysing, trying to understand the world around it, including you. Have you ever had an owl stare directly at you? Tell us about your experience in the comments. And if you're fascinated by the extraordinary connection between humans and animals, subscribe to the Animal Connection. Because some of nature's greatest mysteries begin with a single look.